Hey tubers, here's this little WM again, and we've gone ahead and installed the piston crankshaft rod assembly, as well as we have put our mag plate on this little engine. And I said in that earlier video that I wasn't going to bore you with putting the rod and the crankshaft in the engine, and I have gone ahead and put the base plate as well as the kick pedal on the engine, as well as the points and condenser. I did have a question in an email about the condenser and points. This is the original condenser and points in this engine. I don't know if they are original to this engine. If they are, I do not believe this engine had a whole lot of use, but when it did, it was hard use. So we did clean the points up, check the condenser. This is a rebuilt coil that we did here in the shop, and checked, and everything was okay. We'll go ahead and install the flywheel and get it on. The points gap on these WMs is 20 thou, as well as your spark plug gap should be 20 thou, depending on if you want to run these engines on a lower RPM. You can close that gap up. It's not necessary, but they will run a little bit better. We do have some carburetor work to do for this engine, as well as getting a fuel tank for it and getting it cleaned up and building an engine cart. We'll go ahead and get the flywheel put on and the cylinder head, and we'll get the rest of the fuel tank cleaned up, and we'll do a first start up for you. We won't run this engine. We'll do a video on its first start up. And once again, if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to get in touch with me by leaving me a comment or an email, and I will be glad to answer your questions. And we can move on. Once we get this little guy done, we'll move on to our next project, which is another Briggs & Stratton, as well as we have some special projects coming up, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching, guys.